Hello and welcome back, friends. If you're new around here, I'm Big Gator. If you came looking for the sharpest tennis bets, you are right where you belong. Right now we are covering ATP, Beijing, and Tokyo first round. So get in the comments, let me see what you're playing. Make sure you play lightly because it's first round. And keep your eyes peeled for my pinned comment if you'd like to follow along. If you do like the breakdowns of these matches, please give this video a like. It goes a super long way. And if you would like to get my picks as soon as I upload, subscribe. It's the fastest way to do so. If you are feeling generous for any type of wins that you get from this channel, I do have a link in the pinned comment if you'd like to donate, as well as a link to my free Discord if you would like to join that. It's a community full of people betting. If you would like to just get some extra picks from me and some exclusive picks for other things, you can join that Discord and fuck with us. Please do. And with that being said, just a simple question in every video. What are we looking like today? Anybody take anything? I played a couple things slightly, but I didn't do too much. Nothing official for sure, but weird matches for sure. I took over games for someone. Let me see. What did I take? I took over 20.5 games for Borges and Watanuki, Altmaier to cover the plus spread, Vukic to get a set. So, did me pretty well, plus 194 play. Not too mad at it, but we have a lot to get through today. So, we're going to just jump right into it. We're going to start with Tokyo, because that's what we've been starting with. So, we're going to jump right into it. If I can find who we have going first. All right, looks like our very first match is going to be Humbert going against Jensen Brooksby. And so far, they are 1-1 in their head-to-head history. They played in the Eastbourne semifinals this year, where Brooksby won in the 3-setter. Lost the tiebreak, but came back and won 6-4, 6-4. Nice. And then he lost in the indoor hard courts to Ugo, 6-1, 6-4 back in 2022. It's been some time. Rank's definitely been a thing. But Ugo's still in the top 25, even though he hasn't been playing the best this season. And when I say the best, he has only won about 5 matches since June. Seven since March, so not a great season. He's 7-7 on the hard court though. He did win in Marseille earlier this year. That was indoors though. In Tokyo, they might have the type of courts that could close in and give him an indoor environment. We don't know, but we have Brooksby, who's 6-8 on the hard court, not too strong. Made it to the second round and lost to Flavio Caboli, but we do know he has a play style that is a bit chippy. Bit scrappy, so I could see this being another long game. I don't know if it's specifically going to be a 3-setter, but I could see them pushing it a bit. I don't love the over total games. That's not a bet I love to take, but it does seem to make sense for this one. A lot of the bets are locked for this game right now, so no one seems to know what the price is at least not on FanDuel, but looking at DraftKings, Ugo is the favorite at minus 165, and Brooksby is the dog at plus 125. The total games is at 22.5. I would roll it down to 20.5. Play it. It's minus 215. But I'm not going to be touching that match. Brooksby does pretty decently well against lefties as well. If you didn't know that Ugo was a lefty. There's quite a few French lefties out there. We got Manarino, Moutet, and Humbert. So, not impressive. Actually, he doesn't do too well against lefties, but he has been able to beat Ugo. He has 2 wins this season, and that was against Tabilo and Ugo, but 5 losses against them as well. Nishioka, Moutet, Draper, Nori, and Draper. So, we'll see how Ugo's looking. I'm going to leave him alone for this match and see how he comes out on this one. I'm sure he'll get the win, but I can't be too sure when it comes to how he's been recently. But with that, we'll move on. Next, we have a funny one. We have Marcus Giron going against Sebastian Korda. And this is a 1-2 head-to-head going Korda's way with 2 wins. So 2-1 Korda, my mistake. Last time they played was back in 2022. Weirdly enough, I don't trust either one of these guys right now. So I can't tell you to bet on this match because I don't know if I'm going to. I want to love Sebastian Korda, man. I want to. I want to say he's great for betting. Because at one point in time he was. But at this point now, he might be someone to just watch and see how he's looking like Tiafo out here, honestly. Like, I don't know if that's the right comparison, but I feel like he's looking like Tiafo out here. Anyway, Giron is 13-12 this season. Korda's 11-7. Korda on his best day will be able to beat most people. That's my thing. He's got a higher percentage on the hard court with a 61% going against Giron's 58. 16-13 this season. Giron is 21-22. So he'll either end up 22-22 or 21-23 after this one. Not crazy good record. So I would lean a little bit more on Korda just because he's supposed to be better. Supposed to be. But Giron is ranked better right now. Which means he's playing a bit better. So Korda is the favorite. I'll be playing him probably on DraftKings Fantasy. Maybe Ugo as well for DraftKings Fantasy. The people that I don't feel too confident in to take their money line, I'll play them on DraftKings for half unit tickets or things like that. Just to say like, oh, I did think they would win, but I wasn't confident enough to put money on that by itself or with something else. But a DraftKings slip is always a little bit different, right? It's always a little bit different. So with that, I'll move on. I would think that Sebastian Korda gets it done, though. And our next match is going to be Yoshihito Nishioka going against Luciano Darderi. And if I'm not mistaken, this Nishioka is a lefty. So we'll have to look into Darderi. But anyway, before I get into that, this is going to be their first head-to-head. Nishioka is 6-12 on the hard court this season, but he still has a 60% win rate, going 10-20 across all surfaces. Then we have a 4-9 Darderi, who's got a 50% win rate, but we know he's good. He's way better than that number shows. And with a 36-24 record, he has seemingly gone on the clay this season after the French Open, and never he lost in the first round of the French Open and then never lost on the clay the rest of the season. Like, fuck is you talking about? We're not playing on clay though. We're playing on the hard. So I think his game does translate back onto the hard really well. I do really like what Darderi's doing. I haven't seen enough of Nishioka to say anything, but he is on a what? Outside of his one win against Jensen Brooksby back in D.C. in the first round, I was there that day. He is on a 16-match losing streak. I think Darderi beats him. I think this is a great space for Darderi, but at the same time, let's take a look at how well he plays in Japan. Last year, he only made it to the second round. He beat Felix Auger-Aliassime, though, in the first round. If you can beat Felix, I don't know, man. That's a wild person to beat. But we don't know if we were getting the real Felix that day or not. Darderi going against lefties, though. He's got a 3-5 record. And Nishioka is ranked what? Let's say he's a top 20 player if on his best day. Let's see how many times he's beaten a top 20 player. Even top 50. He's 0-3 against top 50 players with their left hand. So, I like Darderi to win, but at the same time, we've seen Nishioka literally just last year, even though he's on a shitter, when he's in Japan, specifically in Tokyo, he lost to Rune in the next round, 6-2, 6-4, which is probably fair play. He lost in the first round to Marcus Giron as well in 2023. Lost in the first round to Miomir Khachanov. Okay, yeah. I like Darderi. I like Darderi. That one match against Felix, you don't know what Felix you're going to get. I know we're going to get a good Darderi. I know he's going to be fresh. I know he's going to be good to go. I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, let's move on. Next, we have Thomas Machac going against Sho Shimabukuro. And this is going to be their first head-to-head. Fair enough. They're about 250 ranks apart. Machac is 14-8 on the hard court this season. And Sho Shimabukuro, okay. He's 16-15 on the hard court this season with a 62% win rate. Machac has a 67% win rate though. So he did make it to the fourth round in the U.S. Open, barely dropping a set. No, never dropped a set until he went against Taylor Fritz. My mistake. The furthest that we got from Sho, he couldn't even qualify in the first round against Yuta Shimizu. So he has gone through Juan Manuel Cerundolo, which is a lefty, and a pretty decent, but like he's someone that's a clay player and starting to break out of the clay and go into the hard court. So fair play there. He's more of a hard court player. He beat Mariano Navone, another clay player as well. But challenger level is all I'm seeing. So Machac is probably going to be priced ridiculously, minus 330. I would expect that. But what do we think about Thomas Machac, man? Like, in reality, I have a list on my Discord. You guys are free to join it. I have an iffy players list. Thomas Machac isn't on that list. He is on the do not fucking touch list. So, even though he's minus 330, I will not touch it. I don't care what parlay piece it is for. He should win in straight, so that's minus money. But you can't be too sure with the way Thomas Machac is nowadays. So, with that being said, maybe play him on DraftKings. If you don't trust him, then leave it alone, like me. But let me see. How well this So he's never played against a top 50 player. The first time he will he hasn't played against anyone in the top 50 and beyond and below. So from the furthest he's gotten is 71, which is Juan Manuel Cerundolo. So 71 and 22 are two different ranks, man. Machac should get it done. All right, next we have Damir Dzumhur going against Alexander Vukic. And, man, Vukic has been actually looking fucking good out here. Took a set off Bublik at Hangzhou. Not many people did that. He really was giving him a run for his money. I was a bit worried about that match, but Bublik ended up doing his thing. Got rid of David Goffin, who has been playing pretty well. We'll get to that, I guess. But Dzumhur has not been playing too well. He went to the Davis Cup. He has not been playing well on the hard courts. He's been struggling to get a set. The only person he can get a set against is Alcaraz for some fucking reason. I don't understand that whatsoever. He got a set off of Diallo and Alcaraz, but couldn't get a set off of Echeverry, Comasanya, or Mesa. I don't know who that is, but it was a Davis Cup match on the clay. So he's been jumping back and forth to the clay and the hard a lot. I don't know if his game is in the right place because he hasn't consistently had to play the same way. So I don't really trust this. In their one head-to-head they did have, Vukic did win in a 5-setter in Melbourne earlier this year. I trust that he will probably do the same. I think Dzumhur takes a bit longer to get into the hard court season. Because I do think he's a great player for his age. I think he's a crazy good grinder, but the way that things are here in Tokyo favor Vukic. He's got a serve as well that will definitely be carrying him. I could see it going to a tiebreak though. And that's plus 120. I could see a tiebreak taking place somewhere. Plus 120. I like it, but I don't love it. Sorry. Next, actually, before we get into that, let's get into their stats. Dzumhur is 9-9 on the hard court. Vukic is actually 12-17. So, on paper, yes, Dzumhur is actually just as good as Vukic, but not actually. 0.3% better on the hard courts goes to Vukic. 53.4 against 53.1. As far as the season's been going, Dzumhur's actually been playing better. He's 32-28, so 4 more wins over the losses that he has. But Vukic is 22-31, so that's 9 losses over the wins that he has. I would really like to take Dzumhur for a set, honestly. I think that him being the dog is a great place to have him, but he hasn't been able to get us a set in some time. And he'd be getting to the first round automatically. He don't got to, qualify. So I'm going to leave it alone. It's first round. You never know. Let's see who's really here to play. I think Vukic is here to play, though. So at the very least, maybe play him on DraftKings as well. And next, we have Gabriel Diallo going against Taylor Fritz. A matchup we've been seeing quite often this year. This is going to be their third head-to-head ever, and also this year. Playing the first time in Wimbledon in a 5-setter in the second round, and then a straight set win for him in Toronto, where for some reason he couldn't produce much. And now we have the third match. And Taylor Fritz has been looking fucking good. He beat Carlos, and he beat Zverev in the fucking Laver Cup, which I still gotta watch. That I didn't even know that happened. I missed that. So I knew that he beat Zverev. I did not know he beat Carlos. We'll see if that really counts. But anyway, yeah, just beating Daniel Rucker. Who was that? Kukurman in the indoor hardcore Davis Cup match. He beat him in straights. That was cool. That was pretty much it, though. We haven't seen much from him since the U.S. Open. I don't know if he's going to be able to do much against Taylor Fritz in this form that he's in. He seems to be unlocked. I like Diallo more, so I would say that he should be able to produce a set at any given time against Taylor Fritz, but he wasn't able to do so last time. Maybe this time's a little bit different. If he does lose this match, he becomes Taylor Fritz's son. So, the pressure's on, Diallo. The pressure is on. If you're playing a lot of stacked people on DraftKings Fantasy, Diallo's the person to play, the cheaper one. I would play him just because he's the cheaper underdog option of the day that I think actually might get it done. And just looking at the hardcourt history that both of these guys have had this season, Diallo is 15-13. Last season he ended 30-12. He's got a 63% win rate. Fritz is 26-10 this season. He ended last season 22-10. So he's already having a bit better of a season with 4 more wins, same amount of losses. 67% win rate, 4 more over Diallo. So Taylor Fritz is also 45-17 this season. He's been having a great season. Going against a 34-24 Diallo, it should be pretty simple on paper that Taylor Fritz gets it done. But you know me. I am always a bit skeptical about Taylor Fritz. I'm always a bit skeptical. But we'll move on. Next match we have is Jordan Thompson going against Brandon Nakashima. And gosh, what a fruitful history these two have. They played each other 6 times. 6 times already. We'll walk over most recently in Rome. Coming from Jordan Thompson. Nakashima is actually the one leading in this head-to-head. I'm sorry, brain fart. He is 4-2 so far. So he won in London in straight sets last year. Beat him in straight sets in the second round in Wimbledon. And then right before that year, they went to a 5-setter and beat him in the Thompson beat him in the first round. So he got his get back. Nakashima has beaten him he's beaten him every time on the hard court. Atlanta twice in Los Cabos, but that was over 3-4 years ago. So in more recent times, Nakashima has been the winner. So I don't love Nakashima from what I've been seeing from him lately. I mean, I don't love betting on him, I'll say that much. I like watching him play, but I don't like betting on him. And Jordan Thompson's always got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, doesn't he? He's got a 6-8 record on the hard court this season, going 12-15 across all, but still has a 60% win rate. So, funny enough, so does Nakashima, but he's 17-12 this season with a 30-24 record. So, 9 more losses, 12 more wins. 18 more wins, I'm sorry. So, definitely playing a bit better. But how much better is hard to say. This may be a game that has a match that has a lot of games. Every match they've played, except for the last one in Wimbledon, had a tie break in it. So I would really like to think that happens again. It's minus money. It's minus 120. I don't love betting on Nakashima, so I'm not going to touch it, but that is there for those who like that. I'm going to move on, though. Next, we have 2 Americans going at it in Tokyo. We have Alex Michelsen and Ethan Quinn, 2 young boys. Both 21 years old as of recently. As of this year, right? This is going to be their second head-to-head. Ethan Quinn did beat him back in 2022 in a 3-setter and a very low-level ITF match, so it doesn't really matter. But Michelsen lost in the Laver Cup, also in the first round against Komasanya, and to Holger Rune. So a 3-match losing streak starting in Cincinnati with Holger Rune. And then we have Ethan Quinn, who's qualified, beating Bellucci and Shimizu so far, but lost to Giron in straights and lost to Jeremy Kim, which, fair play, he ended up getting decently far in the U.S. Open. So it looks like he snapped out of form, but he's snapping back into it. This is the first time we've seen 2 wins in a row from Ethan Quinn since Mallorca, where he got knocked out in the second round. So maybe we might get a win from him in the first round. Michelsen, seemingly, it's hard to say with him right now. 3-match losing streak, but he hasn't been playing bad. I think he's been also evolving his game during this time, so I don't know if that's going to be enough to stop Ethan Quinn, who's 21-12 on the hard court this season. I think a lot of that is no challenge, maybe one challenger that he lost in, but the rest have been ATP level. So Ethan Quinn has been playing and well deserving of his rank 81. But we have a rank 32 Michelsen, who did make it to the quarterfinals in Toronto, but we haven't seen that form since. Not to me, at least. He beat Mutet in Cincinnati, but I don't know. I think Ethan Quinn is good for a set here, at the very least. It's minus 215. They went to a 3-setter the last time they played. It was a long time ago, 3 years ago. They were both, 17, 18 years old. So games have evolved for sure. But I like that Ethan Quinn may be able to get a set here. He's been playing a bit better. And Michelsen's been dropping sets. So hopefully we can get that from him. I know the level is a bit different. Minchik taking a set from him is not the same as Quinn being able to do the same, but I think that he should be able to. We'll see, though. But next we have Ahmad Medjedovic going against Holger Rune. And they played each other in the Davis Cup, actually, earlier this year. And Medjedovic won in a 3-setter. He did retire in his Davis Cup match recently, which has me stay away from him. But it went to 2 tie breaks, and in the third set, he got broken and then retired. Or actually, no, he was up. He was up 3-1. So I don't know. That's concerning. You were up 3-1 and you retired. I would bet on Holger Rune to get a set. It's minus 400. It's more of a parlay piece. You could take Holger for the DraftKings for sure today. I just don't trust. I don't trust that. I don't trust that. He's 6-5 on the hard court this season. 57% win rate for Medjedovic. And then 15-8 for Rune. 57% win rate as well, though. 57.8, though. Going against 57.1. Those fractional differences make a huge difference in the outcome. So, I will go Holger Rune for the money line. If you're too scared to do so, which I may be, I might take him for DraftKings. All right. And next we have Zizou Bergs going against Alejandro Tabilo, which, man, oh man, congrats to that boy for beating Lorenzo Musetti. What a disappointing loss for Musetti. We bet on him outright to win as a number 9 in the world. We expected him to not be going through too much of a problem against a rank 112, but that all changed now. Tabilo has jumped 40 ranks since then. He is now 72, not 112, 72, going against Zizou Bergs, who is actually won in their most recent head-to-head, which is the only one they had, which was in the French Open on the clay in a 4-setter. But Zizou Bergs has been losing to lefties recently. He lost in his very last match to Jerry Shang in a 3-setter. But Tabilo did just come off of a very exhausting final and had played from qualies. He qualified and won that Chengdu tournament. Musetti only had to win 4 matches. This guy ended up winning 7. Come on, man. I still think it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. But I digress. He may be tired. That's what I'm getting to. The lefty from Chile may be tired. He's popping into Tokyo all the way from China, where he's going to have to probably go back to China again for Shanghai for the Masters. I don't think he's going to want to play a lot. I think he wants to preserve himself with this win and go into the next tournament. If he keeps playing at this level, I'd be quite surprised. I think Zizou Bergs is going to win this one. I do think that just off of the exhaustion and like where Tabilo has to go next, I'm sure he's with the win, a 250 win under his belt, he's going to try and go to the Masters and see what he can get off at the Masters. I don't know if it's worth him trying to grind out another win here in Tokyo, where Alcaraz is just like lingering and Demonor is lingering. Right, so is Demonor in this? No, I don't think so. Alcaraz is enough to worry about, though. But looking at their records this season, Zizou is 16-14. One of the better seasons he's been having in some time. And Tabilo is 15-10. Just 1 less loss and 4 less losses. How is Zizou against lefties? That's the real question. He's 5-6. He's kind of half and half. Lost to Jerry Shang, but he beat Jack Draper. Oh, that was a walkover. Let's see how he is against them. The top 50. Top 100. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. He's never been able to beat Jerry Shang. Is that what I'm seeing? That is what I'm saying. But I don't know. He's 3-5 against him this season. So I don't even know if it's going to be over total games. I would take Zizou for a set, but that's like minus 400. It's nothing worth it in that. The money line is a bit more comfortable. You might have to play that on DraftKings. That's what I might be having to do. It's a lot of people playing, so I'll be probably making more than one slip. You can catch that in my free Discord, by the way. We'll move on. We're going to get about 2 more matches in Tokyo. So next we have Casper Ruud going against Shintaro Mochizuki. And this is going to be their first head-to-head. And Mochizuki is 24-13 this season with a 55% win rate on the hard, with Casper Ruud only going 9-7. Both with a... Oh, I'm sorry. Ruud has a almost 60% win rate. Shintaro Mochizuki's at 55%. So, a little over 4.5%. Ruud, I don't really trust him. He was able to beat Riley Opelka. I'm sure he should be able to beat Mochizuki. But Mochizuki was able to qualify all the way into the U.S. Open, so he played a lot more matches to get there than Ruud, who lost to Rafael Colleon right before beating Opelka in the Laver Cup. So I don't really like to touch matches that involve him. I'd rather just appreciate him from a distance if I can. And that's going to be that. And last but not least, our match is going to be Carlos Alcaraz going against Sebastian Baez. And these guys haven't played each other in some time. About 3 years was the last time they played. It was in the U.S. Open with a straight set win about to happen until Baez pulled out. But in the, what is this? The juniors next gen finals, he beat him in straights 4-2, 4-2, 4-1, 4-2. So looks like Baez has never been able to get a set off of Alcaraz. I don't expect it to be any different tomorrow or tonight. He is minus 3,000 to win. In Carlos's last match in the Laver Cup, he beat Cerundolo. Even though he lost to Taylor Fritz 6-3, 6-2. That was crazy. He beat Cerundolo 6-2, 6-1. So I think we're going to get more of that. If I'm being quite fair. Let's check out how Carlos looked last year in Tokyo, if he was here. I think he was in China last year, though. Yeah, he went to Beijing and won all that. He beat Alcaraz. I mean, he beat Sinner. So he took the thing in Beijing. Now he's going over to Tokyo and see if and giving that to Sinner and see if he can take it this time. But last year, Baez went from the U.S. Open straight to Shanghai and lost both. They would have beat Darderi in 4, but after that he retired in the second match of the U.S. Open and then lost in straights. Lost in 3 to Monfils. He's 2-7 this season. I expect it to be 2-8. The spread for the match is 6.5. Jesus. 7 games. We can test the waters and put it at 5.5. It's a good parlay piece. Minus 240. I think we'll go with that. And if you really want to know, because who doesn't love to hear it, Sebastian Baez is 19-21 this season, going 2-7 on the hard court with a 48% win rate. Then we have Carlos Alcaraz with a 62-7 record this season with the 23-4 on the hard courts with a 79.4% win rate. Absurd numbers. God bless Alcaraz, man. All right. Well, that covers everything we got going on in Tokyo. We only got about 4 or 5 matches happening in Beijing, so let's hop into that. And our very first match is going to be Alexander Muller going against Karen Khachanov. And this is going to be their second head-to-head. They played 4 years ago in Metz in the indoor hard courts in France. And Khachanov won in a 3-setter. Dropped the first set, but ended up coming back 6-1, 6-3. Bit of a slow starter, maybe. He did lose his match against Kamil Machac in the U.S. Open in a 5-setter. But that has been, almost a month ago. So he's had a whole month off. Surely we get something different from this lad. And then we have Muller, who lost in the first round against Tsitsipas, who ended up losing the very next round, I'm sure. But he did bagel He did win the first set, but that was about it. So between these two, I would probably guess. I mean, their first set went over 9.5 games. I would lean more on that taking place. Khachanov is the dominant favorite here. Minus 450 the win, but it is minus 140 for it to go to 10 games in the first set. So if you like that, play it. Let me know what you think. I'll probably stay away from this match just because Muller is so. Like, he had a few good seasons back in the day, but we're not getting the same guy anymore. This season, he's 11-10 on the hard court. Khachanov's 13-9. Muller, surprisingly enough, has a higher win rate on the hard court. But they're about 28 ranks apart, so Khachanov being ranked at number 10. We'll see. He does have a nice serve on him. Both of these fellers do. But Khachanov definitely has the more superior one. So if you want to go for aces, maybe take that. But I'll probably be staying away and see who comes out in the first round. All right, next we have Benjamin Bonzi going against Fabian Marozsan. And this is going to be their second head-to-head only. They played in D.C. earlier this year in the first round. I was there for that. And Marozsan actually beat him. 7-5, 6-1. It was surprising for me when I was there. I was like, oh, damn, Bonzi lost. But we have Bonzi, who did get to our radar. We now have some appreciation for Ben Bonzi after the U.S. Open. We know where that guy's mental is at, and it is fortified. Brother has a fortified mental. And he lost to Rune purely off of just exhaustion. The 5-setter he went against Giron and Medvedev will forever live in my mind. I will be forever grateful for this dude. He did a feat that I didn't think was possible. And he pushed it to a fourth set in that match somehow. Thanks to Medvedev, honestly. But Cincinnati, he made it to the fourth round. Toronto and Washington, he kind of shit the bed. But Marozsan has been kind of shitting the bed everywhere he's been going. Honestly, he's been having a pretty bad season, trending downward. Bonzi is 14-11 this season. Marozsan is 10-10. The win percentage on the hard court for Bonzi is 65%. Marozsan is at 61%. I would be lying to you if I told you, if I didn't think Ben Bonzi would. I think he's gonna win this one. I haven't seen him in a while though, but last time we saw him, he was looking good. If anything, we can probably take him for a set, just to be safe. See how things are going. It's the first round. Don't want to go too crazy, but it would be some good smoke. So maybe we might play light and do maybe go for Bonzi against Marozsan. Actually, fuck it. Let's go for Bonzi. Let's go for Bonzi today. Why not? How did these guys do last season on the hard? Marozsan got walked over in Hangzhou to Renki Hijikata and didn't play another match after that on the hard court for the rest of the season. So, looks like he wasn't too pressed to play on the hard courts. After the U.S. Open, looks like Bonzi seemingly went on to play in challengers in France, and then he stopped playing as well. Moved right into the indoor hard court where he started smoking the shit out of people. He went for a 24-6 record last season. So Marozsan had a 2-6. So I like Ben Bonzi winning this one. He's plus 140 today. That's crazy. I think this is the person to go with. I do. I'm not playing him on DraftKings. I'm playing him on the books. But anyway, got 3 more matches left. And the next one is going to be one of our new boys, someone we have on our radar. Big, scary Terry Atmane going against Zhang. And this is going to obviously be their first head-to-head. Due to Atmane being recently ranked at 68, coming from the mid-150s. And going against Zhang, who is ranked 370, but at one point in time, as of about last year, he was ranked 31. So this should be quite an interesting match to see what we get here. We did just see Zhang get smoked by Dalibor Serchina, but also he did beat Bu in Jaquete. So outside of those two matches in Hangzhou, we hadn't seen him since March on a hard court. Or at all, virtually. He's 4-10 this season. Scary Terry is 33-26 with a 27-15 record on the hard courts. Now, I was a bit skeptical about it, but he beat Botic into 2 tie breaks. If he's beaten Botic, Van de Zandschulp, and qualies in 2 tie breaks, I think that we can take him to get a money line today. He's minus 175. It's a good fucking piece to have. Who is with me? Who is with me? Scary Terry. Just to put the icing on the cake, let's see how Zhang does against lefties. Excuse me. Decently well, but this year he's 1-1. He couldn't beat Shapovalov, but he could beat Thiago Monteiro, who was ranked 109. This guy's not ranked 109. He's ranked 68. So he's yet to beat someone in the top 100. Let's see if he had a top 100 win last year against lefty. He was 2-5 against top 100 players last year. So on the hard court specifically, he was 0-2. Career-wise, he is 1-6 against lefties on hard courts in the top 100. So I like Scary Terry getting it done here. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense. I'm excited for this match. What time is it? It's in 8 hours. Fuck. All right. Well, I will be up to watch it. I have to watch this match. I gotta see Scary Terry in action. I can see the highlights. It's all good. Anyway, our next match is going to be ADF going against Ugo Carabelli. So we have Alejandro Davidovich Fakina going against Camilo Ugo Carabelli. And this is going to be their first head-to-head. About 23 ranks apart. Alejandro is ranked number 20 in the world right now. He's been playing a bit colder than what we were used to seeing in the summertime. He was pretty hot. He was playing tremendously well in DC. Played decently well on the grass. Made it to the semifinals in Eastbourne. Got to the third round against Taylor Fritz again, who knocked him out in Eastbourne and Wimbledon. And didn't do too well in Los Cabos, had to get his footing. But once he got to DC, he turned into something different. He made it to the final against Demonor, where he almost won. Made it to the semifinals in Monte Carlo, lost to Alcaraz. He's had a pretty good season. He's 35-21 this season, going against a 31-24 Ugo Carabelli. But only on the clay does he have that record bumping like that. Alejandro's got a 60% win rate on the hard court. Ugo Carabelli has about a 48-51. He's 4-7 so far this season in the hard. ADF is 20-12. So he's minus 650 to win. I think that's a bit excessive. I don't even think he wins in straights. He could drop a set here. Him winning 2-1. Excuse me. It's plus 270. 275, actually. But, yeah. DraftKings for him. Cheap price to get him at. To play him on DraftKings. He's a super favorite, so what more could you ask for, right? And last but not least, we have our number 1 seed, Jannik Sinner, going against Marin Cilic. Now, I do want to say this before we get into this head-to-head information. Jannik had an interview after the U.S. Open where he basically had said that he's become too predictable. He's known that this has been something that people have becoming a bit more aware of. So he said himself he's going to have to work on becoming less predictable. And with that, I quote, may start to lose a few matches. I may lose a few matches, is what I think he said. But he's changing his play style to adjust himself in positioning to be number 1 again. That's going to cause some losses. Cilic isn't the person that I think is going to be a problem for him, but I do think he will run into somebody in the next month or two that's going to be a problem that will crack his new code of him being in the new shape he's in, and people will start to hack at that until he fixes it. I think that Jannik may go through a bit of a weird low period based on what that information is saying. It could be all mind games, could be a straight lie, could be bullshit. But if I'm going to listen to what the man is saying, I would believe him. He's becoming a bit more predictable than most people would like to admit. I don't like to watch him be that predictable. Like, I can literally tell you where the ball's going when he's hitting it, and I hate that. Can't do that with Alcaraz. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So 1-0 in their head-to-head history with Sinner and Cilic, and a 3-setter in the Davis Cup in 2021. As we know, Cilic is actually on a 5-match losing streak, losing in Hangzhou to Basavaredi in the first round, in the Davis Cup, which don't really matter, to Boutet and Rinderknecht. Lost in 3 sets, straight sets, to Alex Bublik in the U.S. Open in the first round, and Flavio Caboli in the 4th round of Wimbledon, who ended up going against Djokovic. So, he did do pretty well in Nottingham coming off of that right before the Wimbledon, but that's the grass, and we haven't seen him on the grass, and nor will we see him on the grass the rest of the season. Sinner is 18-2 this season. The only loss that he has had has been to Carlos Alcaraz. Crazy enough. And Cilic is 2-4. Only able to beat Popyrin and Demonar, crazy enough, in Dubai. But lost to Felix in the quarterfinals. So, the 37-year-old Croatian is still kicking, but don't know if he'll be able to kick too hard against the Sinner. May be able to cover a spread with his serving. May be able to, but I don't know. I want to look and see how Jannik is looking in this match tomorrow. He'll be playing at 7 o'clock in the morning. If you guys are going to be up and about, I'm off tomorrow, so I'll be streaming shit. If you guys want to catch it, hop in my Discord and you guys can catch the match. But that's going to cut it for me as far as what I have. Now, we can get into the real meat and potatoes. Probably going to be a quick meat and potatoes, honestly. But futures. As what I just broke down to you about about Sinner. Can't really trust that he might be thinking about winning this Open. He wants to play tennis. He wants to improve. That's the biggest thing about him. He wants to become the best. It takes time to do that when you're in this position that he's in, where people know how he plays. Your number is kind of pulled. So I'm kind of leaning on the idea that he might get plucked out of this tournament. I don't want him to. I mean, the ticket that everyone was going to have is Alcaraz and Sinner winning outright. I am more confident in the Alcaraz outright. And I've already sprinkled a little bit on Bublik to win. Plus 1,800. So, do with that information as you will. I'm going to get up out of here. I'm trying to keep this video under an hour. It's first round, so play light. I please play light and don't play too many tickets. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Enjoy first round. Peace.